Hello, I'm David Kelley, and welcome to another episode of Becoming Competitive. So in this episode, I want to talk about being results-oriented. And more specifically, I want to talk about making the right decision regardless of what the end result was. So you may be looking at the screen and going, why do we have Pro Poker Tools open here? And it's because I think stepping out of the game you're talking about and looking at it in a different light sometimes helps explain things a little better. In addition, every once in a while throughout the series, I'm going to step outside of X-Wing and talk about it in the more generic sense, because a lot of these things are just basic game theory ideas. If you can understand the concept and then apply it to X-Wing, you can then apply that concept to any other game you play, whereas a lot of times, if you understand the X-Wing concept, sometimes you can't extrapolate it, or it doesn't trigger in your brain to extrapolate it to Imperial Assault or poker or whatever other game you're playing. Plus, I'm a big poker player. I like to gamble. So anytime I can do something with poker, it's probably going to happen. Anyway, the purpose is I want to look at not being results oriented and why that matters. So the first thing I want to do is we need to make the best decision. So in the last few videos, we've been talking about the chances of 3 hits, the chances of evades, what focus means, what focus target lock means, what no tokens mean, what quality of shot means, what variance means, all that kind of stuff. And all that is important, and all that is needed in order to make the best decision. So, when I'm going to take a shot, or spend a token, or do anything in the game, my goal is to make the absolute best decision, period. Not to outguess the opponent. It's not to do anything like that. I want to make the most solid mathematical decision. Now, if there's a couple solid mathematical decisions, that's where flying comes into play. That's where other strategy comes into play. But in order to really illustrate this point, we're going to look at poker. If you're unfamiliar with Texas Hold'em, that's the game I'm looking at here. You get dealt 2 hole cards, or 2 cards that only you can see and nobody else can see. We're ignoring anything else about the game. We're just looking at those hole cards. So, if I am dealt ace-ace, suits doesn't matter, I'm just dealt ace-ace. Even if my opponent has king-king, which is a very solid hand, I am a monster favorite to win. So if you're playing at a cash game, meaning not in a tournament, because tournament has slightly different rules to it, I guess. You play slightly differently. But if you're just in a cash game, I've got $100 on the table, I've got ace-ace. What should I do? Well, the reality is, if I've got $100 and I've got another $1,000 behind me, and I can make this bet a couple times, the reality is I should be getting as much money on the table with my ace-ace as possible. Why? Because the second best hand in the game is king-king. And if we hit the simulate button here, we're going to find out I have 81.95% equity. Now, you'll notice this doesn't say I'm 81.95% to win. Because in poker, you're not 81.95% to win against king-king when you go all in. Why? They could fold. So you're actually going to win that pot more than 81.95% because they could always fold. But if my opponent and I both put all our chips in the middle, I'm going to win 81.95% of the time, and they're going to win 18.05% of the time. Now, you'll see here, they've got wins, which is 50 million, and then 10 million, almost 11 million here. And then there's a bunch of ties. What this program does is it simulates every possible outcome, and then it gives you the percentages. Now, the reason we don't want to be results-oriented is, and the reason I'm using this example, we can all, every single one of us can look at this and go, you know what? Aces are always better than kings. They won't always win, but you should always go all in when you have aces. Pre-flop in a cash game if you think your opponent will go with you. It's a good decision. Like, the more money you can get in that pot, the better. Now, this is ignoring playing the player and all that, which comes into poker. This is purely on the math side of things. If you can get all your money in the pot, you should probably try to. Now, what we have to do is go 18% of the time, I'm going to lose. So if I'm in Atlantic City or Vegas and I've got $200 and I go all in with aces and I lose, did I make the wrong decision with my $200? The fact of the matter is, I did not. I still lost. I'm still negative 200, but I made the right decision. And this is very important in X-Wing because unlike being in Atlantic City or Vegas, where that $200 might be the only $200 you have to gamble with. So maybe you don't want to gamble your whole stake, your whole wad, everything you have. You might not want to gamble all of that at one time. With X-Wing, you're not gambling it all at one time. You've got 6 rounds of Swiss. You've got the cut. If you lose at this system open, you've got the system open next year. You've got the tournament next week. You've got next month's monthly tournament. Right? There's a never-ending exhaustion of games you get to play in X-Wing, as long as you have the time, patience, and all that. So, to really illustrate this example, I want to compare this to a topic we talked about earlier, taking a focus versus taking a target lock. Now, when you take that focus and you roll hit blank blank, it feels really bad. Like, it feels bad. Because as soon as you roll that hit blank blank, the first thing that crosses your head is, man, I should have taken the target lock. Well, you shouldn't have. You made the right decision. We just hit that 18% where the king won. Right? We all know that aces is the better choice. I discussed why taking the focus is almost always going to be better than taking the target lock. Now, there's times when it's not, but in general, the focus is a better option than target lock. Period. I'm not talking about the edge cases. We're talking about in general. So don't be like, man, I should have taken the target lock. Because guess what? You don't want to be the king player. You want to be the ace player. Sometimes the ace player loses. That's a part of the game. So when the outcome is bad for you, don't look at that as going, I made a mistake. Now, if you notice the outcome is bad, and then it's bad, and then it's bad, and it feels like, man, my outcomes are really bad lately, that's when you might want to go, am I really making the best decision? Maybe I'm going to go get the dice calculator. Maybe I'm going to verify I'm making the correct choice. Or maybe something else is going on. But that's when you need to investigate. But I do want to take this a little further to just show exactly the power this has. So, if I make a $100 bet with my aces, get it all in. If I win $200. If I lose $100. Or if I win, I'm up $100. I make $100 profit. If I lose the $100. So if I play that hand one time and I lose, well, I'm down $100. It feels bad. However, if I play that same game 1,000 times, all of a sudden, guess what? I'm making a lot of profit, like a good bit of profit. So, let me just pull up a calculator. Calculator. So, we know here, I'm going to win 81.95% of the time, which means if I play 1,000 games, I'm going to win 819 of them, or we'll round it up to 820. All right, so if I play 1,000 games, I'm going to win 820 times $100. Now, if I play that 1,000 games, though, I'm going to lose 18 or 180 because we got to move the decimal. So I'm going to lose plus 180 times, but here, remember, I'm losing $100. All right, so this is our equation. Now, for those of you good at math, you'll probably already know the answer. But when we figure this out, boom. If I play this game 1,000 times, betting $100 each time, I'm going to make $64,000. Or divide this by 1,000. Come on, there we go. $64 per hand. So if we look at this, I'm winning this 82% of the time. I'm losing it 18% of the time. It's going to feel bad the times I lose. It's going to feel good the times I win. But if I play enough games over time, I'm making a profit of $64 per hand. So that's what you kind of want to look at X-Wing as. If I'm making the correct decision every time, over the course of time, I'm gaining a gross profit. And that's what we're looking for. The other really good casino example of this is blackjack. Now, everyone knows you can count cards and beat blackjack. However, casinos will kick you out if they catch you. If you can't count cards and you just play according to the little sheet they give you that tells you the optimal strategy to play blackjack, the casino's edge is only 51%. It's actually slightly less. I think it's like 50.09% or 50.9%, something like that. It's not quite 51%, but it's real close. But we're going to call it 51%. So the casino wins 51% of the time. The player wins 49% of the time. Now, in a really small sample size, the casino could lose. But the reality is there's hundreds of players, thousands of players playing blackjack in that casino every day, every week, every month. And over the course of a year, that 2%, 51 to 49, that 2% difference there means millions of dollars for that casino. Which is why the casino is the perfect example of don't be results oriented. They don't look at that loss that the guy who's drunk and just was like, $1,000, I won. They don't look at that and go, man, I guess we should change the game. No, they look at it and go, cool. We've got another 2,000 of those drunk guys. We're going to get a lot of their money. That's what they're doing. So that's what you need to do. Now, I am incredibly excited. You guys get to witness the most high-tech stuff I've ever done. So be prepared. Boom. All right. This is my beautiful visual. I want everyone to look at this. It's gorgeous. So I drew this myself. These photos may have come from Google image search, but we get the point. We've got a B-Wing and an X-Wing shooting at my defender. So, the very first attack this X-Wing makes at my defender, and my defender's clearly pointing to the left, so its arc clearly doesn't hit any of them. It's got no shot. So all this defender cares about is defending. Now, if my defender rolls, say the X-Wing rolls hit blank. He can't modify his dice. He's just got hit blank. So we got 2 hits coming in we need to defend against. My defender rolls blank, evade, focus. I have a choice. I can spend my focus or I can spend my evade. Now, in the first episode, we talked about why you should spend the focus. And this is the perfect example where we're spending our focus first. The correct decision here is to spend the focus. So we're going to spend the focus. Now the second attack comes in. Second attack comes in. That B-Wing, you know what? It was just his day. He rolls hit, crit, crit. Hit, crit, crit. Now your defender only has 4 hull left, right? So this is a scary shot, or 3 hull left. Your defender's got 3 hull. You already lost your shields earlier in this game. He rolls hit, crit, crit. You're sitting there and you'd be like, all right, I've got an evade. I got 3 dice. Come on, give me those 2 natty evades. You roll your dice, and what do you look down and see? You look down and see 3 focus results. And that little evil devil sitting on your shoulder is like, should have spent the evade. That focus would be worth 3 results. Why didn't you spend the evade? Why didn't you save that focus? Well, the reality is you didn't save that focus because you made the correct mathematical choice. Now, the reality is, in this particular game, you're going to spend your evade. You're going to take those 2 crits. the first crit's going to be a fuel leak, and you're going to lose your defender. And you're going to look at this game, and you're going to go, God damn it. You're going to be angry. You're going to second guess your token spending. Like, this is an example that happens to every X-Wing player throughout your time of playing. You're going to look at this, and you're going to go, you know what, next time I'm spending that evade first. And you're going to spend that evade first. And you're going to do that a couple times. And what's going to happen is, the next time you're going to roll evade blank. You're not going to have a focus result, and you're going to take a crit. And then 2 games later, you're going to spend your evade first, and you're going to roll evade blank blank. Nothing to spend that focus token on. And it's going to keep happening until eventually you watch a video like this, or you figure it out for yourself, or someone's like, hey, spend that focus first. And you hopefully will get back to doing the correct decision. The point here is, yes, even when you make the correct mathematical choice, bad things can still happen. That's fine. It's going to happen. There's no way around that. Bad things are going to happen in this game. We're trying to kill each other. We're both trying to inflict bad things on the other person. So clearly bad things are going to happen. There's dice involved. There's random chance. All you can do as the player is make the best decision possible. So in this case, even though you lose your defender here, we're going to spend that focus the first opportunity we get on defense, and then we're going to save that evade. Because the next game, you know what's going to happen? Or maybe even the next turn, or whenever you play again. That X-Wing's going to shoot. He's going to have 2 hits. You're going to roll blank focus evade. And then you're going to spend that focus. You're going to save the evade. And on the next roll, the B-Wing's going to fire. He's going to have hit, crit, crit. You're going to roll blank, blank, evade. You're going to spend your evade. You're going to take only 1 crit. Who cares what the crit is? And you're going to look back at that and go, you know what? I spent my tokens efficiently there. I took the least damage I could have according to the statistics. Occasionally I'll take a little more, but statistically I did the best I could, and over the course of time, that's going to start winning you quite a few games. So I'm going to leave you with that, my beautiful picture. I'm proud of this picture, guys. Like, this is about as artistically amazing as I get, so thanks. But I hope this episode helped. We may come back to this topic because it's a big topic, and I know people are results-oriented, and it's a hard thing to break. But breaking your results-oriented stuff, or your results-oriented thinking, is one of the hardest parts of becoming a competitive player. That's why I just did 3 episodes on math and dice and spending things and variance. Because you have to kind of get a grasp of the math before your brain will even let you start getting past the results-oriented stuff. Anyway, I'm Dave. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one. Bye.